The obsidian walls of the Supreme Council chamber pulsed with a low thrum, a vibration felt as much in the bones as heard by the ears. Above, the crystalline ceiling, a complex latticework of energy conduits, cast a cool, ethereal light upon the assembled dignitaries. Each member of the council, a representative from the myriad species that comprised the Xylar Concordance, sat in their designated alcoves, their forms illuminated by the stark, unforgiving light. The air was thick with tension, a palpable weight that settled over the chamber like a shroud. At the heart of it all was the matter that had brought them to this crisis, the sudden, inexplicable emergence of a new player on the galactic stage: humanity. Xylar, first speaker of the council, a being of shimmering, iridescent scales and eyes that reflected the cold void of space, cleared his throat, the sound echoing through the vast chamber. The latest scans confirm it. They are still expanding, a relentless tide of— He paused, searching for a suitable descriptor, a word that could encapsulate the bewildering nature of the humans. Of activity. They defy all known parameters of galactic civilization. His words hung in the silence, a testament to the fear that had gripped the Concordance. Fear of the unknown, fear of the unpredictable. Across the chamber, General Vrax, a formidable Cathar warrior with chitinous armor that gleamed like polished obsidian, stirred in his alcove. His mandibles clicked with barely suppressed impatience. Unpredictable, they are chaotic, speaker. They are a disease. Their actions are illogical, their motives incomprehensible. We should have eradicated them when we had the chance. His voice, a gravelly growl, sliced through the tension. Eradication? The speaker's voice dripped with icy disapproval. Such a drastic measure requires justification, General. We know so little about them. To initiate a full-scale assault without understanding their capabilities would be reckless, suicidal. The murmurs of agreement rippled through the chamber, a wave of cautious unease. The history of the Concordance was etched with the scars of rash decisions, of conflicts sparked by ignorance and fear. Another voice, a melodious, almost liquid tone, resonated from the alcove of Ambassador Lyra, a member of the sentient, telepathic race known as the Saren. My brethren have attempted to establish contact. Their minds, they are closed, a fortress. We cannot penetrate their thoughts, cannot discern their intentions. It is as if they are shielded from the very essence of psychic communication. Her voice held a note of genuine bewilderment, the Saren being accustomed to the openness of minds, the effortless flow of thought between species. This impenetrable barrier was unprecedented. The council chambers became a tempest of opinions. Some advocated for immediate action, a preemptive strike to neutralize the perceived threat. Others, like the speaker, urged caution, arguing for a more thorough analysis of the situation. Some even whispered of diplomacy, a concept viewed with skepticism by many given the humans' erratic behavior. The debates raged, fueled by fear, suspicion, and a desperate desire for control. Each species brought its own unique perspective, its own cultural biases and anxieties to the discussion. The Concordance, a fragile alliance of disparate beings, teetered on the brink of disintegration. Across the immense room, a holographic display flickered to life, projecting the latest data on the humans. It showed their rapid expansion across their star system, the construction of colossal structures that defied known architectural principles, and the inexplicable increase in their technological prowess. The data was unsettling, a portrait of a species that was rapidly evolving, a species that was showing no signs of slowing down. Suddenly, a young delegate from the Cryo-Vipers, a race known for their ruthlessness and pragmatism, rose from his alcove. "Perhaps we are approaching this from the wrong angle," he hissed, his voice laced with venom. "Instead of destruction or fruitless communication, we should employ a different strategy, a hostage." The idea hung in the air, a chilling possibility that silenced the room. The speaker hesitated, his scales shimmering with a disquieting light. The concept of taking hostages had been a relic of a darker era, an act outlawed under the Concordance's laws. Yet in the face of such a profound unknown, the allure of control, of leverage, was undeniable. "And whom precisely would we take?" the speaker inquired, his voice betraying a hint of reluctant curiosity. The Cryo-Viper delegate, a creature with sleek obsidian scales and eyes that burned with cold intensity, fixed his gaze on the holographic projection. "Their leaders, their key figures, those who guide their unpredictable actions." The debate resumed with renewed intensity. The potential consequences of such a move were immense, but the perceived benefits, the chance to understand the humans, to force them into submission, were equally tempting. The council, driven by fear and a desperate desire to protect their civilizations, began to coalesce around a plan that would reshape the balance of power in the galaxy and potentially bring the humans to their knees. The plan was audacious, intricate, and meticulously planned. Using advanced cloaking technology, a stealth strike force would infiltrate the humans' solar system and abduct key personnel. They would be taken to a secure, remote location within Concordance space, where they would be interrogated and their actions studied. The goal was simple: to gain leverage, to understand, and ultimately to control. The strike force, comprised of the most skilled warriors from across the Concordance, slipped through the human defenses undetected. Their advanced cloaking technology, honed over centuries, rendered their vessels invisible to the humans' primitive sensors. They moved with stealth and precision, their mission cloaked in secrecy, a testament to the Concordance's desperation. They were confident, certain in their superiority. They believed the humans were nothing more than a crude, nascent species. They were about to learn a lesson. The initial reports came in swiftly, almost casually, dismissed as minor anomalies. Sensor readings disrupted, the sudden disappearance of several human ships, a brief flicker of unknown energy signatures. But these were dismissed as technological glitches, or perhaps an attempt by the humans to test their own systems. They were wrong. Then came the first confirmation: the abduction of several prominent figures: scientists, politicians, military leaders. The Council, celebrating the success, believing their plan had succeeded, did not anticipate the response. On Earth, a collective silence descended. The disappearance of their leaders, the sudden vacuum of authority, triggered not panic or chaos, but a swift, methodical restructuring of power. The world, facing an unprecedented crisis, rallied. Governments, corporations, and the public coalesced, their differences set aside in the face of an external threat. Humanity's response was not what the Council anticipated, not what any of the species within the Concordance had foreseen. Within hours of the abductions, a single clear message was transmitted to the Concordance: "Release our people. We know where they are." The message was terse, devoid of emotion, and chillingly precise. It was followed by a series of demands that were both rational and unyielding. The humans, it seemed, were not interested in negotiation. They were interested in retrieval. The Council, stunned by this unexpected response, was now faced with a far greater dilemma. Their arrogance had blinded them to the humans' true nature. The humans had not cowered in fear. They had not collapsed into infighting. They had mobilized. The next communication sent by the humans was a warning: "You have 24 hours. Comply or face the consequences." The warning was accompanied by a demonstration of their capabilities. The humans, using their newfound technology and an intuitive understanding of galactic warfare, located the Concordance's secure location and targeted it with the full force of their arsenal. The assault began with terrifying precision. A massive wave of energy, unlike anything seen before, slammed into the Council's command center. The shields, designed to withstand the most devastating attacks, shattered. The Concordance's technological superiority, the pride of generations, crumpled before the overwhelming power of the humans. The holographic projection flickered, revealing the scale of the damage. Entire sections of the station were vaporized, structures collapsed, and the very foundations of the station were shaken. The humans had not just attacked, they had destroyed with clinical efficiency. The Council members looked at each other, their faces reflecting a mixture of shock, terror, and a growing sense of humiliation. Their carefully constructed plan had backfired spectacularly, their carefully constructed sense of superiority reduced to ashes. The speaker was the first to speak, his voice trembling slightly. What have we done?" The gravity of the situation was immense, the cost of their misjudgment immeasurable. The Concordance, once a symbol of galactic unity, now faced an existential threat. They had underestimated humanity. They had believed in their own superiority, and now they were paying the price. Suddenly, a different voice echoed through the chamber, a voice that was calm, steady, and devoid of the usual alien tones of fear or panic. It came from a small, unassuming comm device that had appeared in the center of the chamber. "This is Earth. We have located the individuals you hold. We have observed your systems. We believe you have made a mistake." The voice paused, the silence punctuated only by the crackle of the comm. "We are here to collect our people and to demonstrate a lesson about aggression." The Council fell into a stunned silence. They had been exposed, their plans laid bare, their arrogance shattered. The humans' calm, unwavering tone, their meticulous planning, the sheer scale of their power, it was overwhelming. The screen flickered to life, revealing a human, a woman with intelligent, steely eyes and a calm, composed demeanor. She spoke in a voice that resonated with a quiet authority. "We understand that you are afraid. We understand that we are new and perhaps we are different, but we are not monsters, we are not irrational, we are human." As the humans began their retrieval, a delegation of human ships descended upon the wreckage of the Concordance station. They did not attack. They did not engage in unnecessary violence. Their actions were methodical, precise, and entirely focused on retrieving their captured people and securing the area. Within the wreckage, human teams methodically worked, extracting their captured leaders from their cells. Their every movement was executed with calm precision, a testament to their unwavering discipline. The humans did not gloat, did not taunt their captors. They simply went about their task with an almost clinical detachment. As the rescued individuals were safely transported onto their ships, a new image materialized on the holographic screen, the face of the human leader, a woman named Eva Rostova. She addressed the council, her voice firm and resolute. "We do not seek conquest. We do not seek conflict. We seek only to protect our own. Your actions," she continued, "were born of fear. We understand. But we will not tolerate aggression. We will not be threatened. We will not be underestimated." Then the humans left. They departed without ceremony, without fanfare, their ships disappearing into the vastness of space as swiftly as they had arrived. Their message was clear. They were not to be trifled with. They were a force to be reckoned with, a force that demanded respect. The council, humbled and shaken, was left in the aftermath of the encounter to confront the reality of their misjudgment. They had believed in their superiority, their advanced technology, their intricate strategies. And yet, they had been outmaneuvered, outmatched, and utterly defeated. The chambers of the council became once again a crucible of debate. The members of the Concordance began to consider a new reality. Their long-held beliefs had been shattered, and they were forced to reevaluate their position in the galaxy. The humans had shown them not only their power, but also their restraint. Their measured response, their refusal to escalate the conflict, was a lesson in itself. It was a testament to their character, their strength. The silence in the chamber was broken by Ambassador Lyra. "They are not what we thought," she murmured, her voice filled with a mixture of wonder and apprehension. "They are not simply unpredictable. They are adaptable. They learn. They understand." General Vrax, the Cathar warrior who had previously advocated for a preemptive strike, now sat silent, his mandibles no longer clicking with impatience. He stared at the images of the human ships, the stark black hulls cutting through space, and for the first time a flicker of uncertainty crossed his face. He'd seen them fight, seen them react, and he understood the scale of the error they had made. Speaker Zyler spoke with an intensity that had not been heard before. "We must reassess our approach. We must understand them, not as enemies to be conquered, but as a new and powerful player in this galaxy." The weeks that followed were filled with discussions, debates, and a frantic attempt to understand the humans. Every piece of information, every data point, was analyzed and scrutinized. The Concordance sent out probes to study the human star system, focusing on their technology, their societal structures, and their history. They discovered the humans' philosophy, their art, their music, and their literature. They saw a race that was not just technologically advanced, but also deeply complex. They learned of the humans' history, of their wars and their peace, of their triumphs and their failures. They saw a species that had faced its own demons, a species that had struggled and ultimately persevered. They learned of their love for beauty, their passion for knowledge, and their unwavering belief in their own potential. As the Concordance began to understand the humans, they began to see the depth of their error. They had been blinded by fear, by their own sense of superiority. They had underestimated the humans. They had believed that they could control them, manipulate them. They were wrong. The humans, in their calm and measured response, had shown the Council a profound truth. That true strength lies not in aggression or conquest, but in restraint, in wisdom, in an unwavering commitment to one's own principles. The humans, with their methodical actions, their willingness to confront and then retreat, had revealed a power greater than any weapon. They had exposed the Concordance's weaknesses, its fears, and its failings. They had shown the aliens exactly how fragile their perception of reality truly was. Eventually, the humans proposed a dialogue, an invitation to discuss the future. The Council was divided on the issue. Some still harbored a deep distrust of the humans, fearing a trap. Others recognized that dialogue was the only path forward. Finally, after weeks of heated debate, the council decided to accept the invitation. The meeting was held on a neutral world, a lush planet teeming with life. The meeting hall was a marvel of architectural design, a structure that was both elegant and functional. The air was filled with a sense of anticipation. The humans arrived, their representatives dressed in simple yet elegant attire. They carried no weapons, no visible displays of aggression. Their presence was non-threatening, their demeanor calm and respectful. Eva Rostova, the human leader, began the conversation, her voice resonating through the chamber. "We have come to this meeting with the hope of understanding. We want to understand your fears, your concerns. We want to build a future together." The discussion was long and difficult. The aliens questioned the humans, probing for weaknesses, searching for hidden agendas. The humans answered their questions patiently, honestly, and without guile. They spoke of their values, their ideals, and their unwavering belief in the principles of freedom, justice, and cooperation. The council found themselves fascinated by the humans' ideas. They had never encountered such a species. The humans were not afraid to speak of their flaws, their mistakes. They were open about their desire to create a better future. They offered to share their knowledge, their technology, and their resources on the condition that all species act in good faith. The talks progressed, and the council slowly but surely began to understand the humans. They saw their unwavering commitment to their values, their willingness to learn, their capacity for compassion. They saw that the humans were not just powerful. They were also ethical, driven by a desire to do what was right. The humans offered a proposal, an alliance based on mutual respect, cooperation, and a shared commitment to the principles of freedom and justice. The council was stunned. It was an unprecedented offer. An offer of alliance, of mutual defense, with a species they had so recently considered an enemy. The council, after weeks of deliberation, voted. The result was unanimous. The concordants, embracing a new age of cooperation, agreed to the alliance. They were now allies of humanity. The alliance was sealed with a ceremony, a symbolic joining of the two civilizations. Human and alien representatives, side by side, pledged their commitment to the future. It was a day of celebration, a day of hope. The galaxy had changed. But the celebration was short-lived. A new threat emerged, a danger far greater than any the concordants had previously encountered. An ancient signal emanating from the depths of space was detected. Its power was immense, its message cryptic. The signal was traced to a massive, derelict structure, a megastructure of unimaginable scale, a relic from a bygone era. The structure was a colossal, cosmic artifact, a monument to a civilization that had vanished long ago. As the council sent probes to study the structure, the meaning of the signal began to unfold. It was a beacon, a warning. The structure was not a monument, but a prison, a cage built to contain something of unimaginable power. Inside the structure, something slumbered, something that posed a threat to the entire galaxy. The discovery was a shock. The council knew then that they had misjudged everything. Their fears and their prejudices were small and insignificant in light of the impending cosmic horror. They faced a crisis, a darkness that threatened to engulf the entire galaxy. The council and the humans were united in the face of this new threat. They saw that their differences, their past conflicts, were insignificant compared to the existential peril before them. Their combined resources, their combined knowledge, were now all that stood between the galaxy and utter annihilation. The exploration of the megastructure revealed horrors beyond imagination. The structure was not a prison, it was a tomb holding a creature of immense power. It was a being of pure energy, a cosmic entity that fed on the life force of entire star systems. The humans, with their calm pragmatism and remarkable courage, stepped forward. They developed a plan, a desperate gamble that relied on their strengths, their intelligence, and their willingness to sacrifice everything. Their plan involved sending a strike force into the heart of the structure, a suicide mission designed to shut down the entity. The mission was perilous. The strike force would be made up of the best soldiers and scientists from both the concordants and humanity. They would face unimaginable dangers, the horrors of a cosmic entity. Their survival was uncertain. The humans, understanding the stakes, took the lead. They developed the technology, they organized the mission. Their scientists worked tirelessly to create a weapon that could neutralize the entity. Their soldiers trained relentlessly, preparing to confront the horrors that awaited them. The humans did not flinch in the face of death. They were ready to sacrifice themselves for the greater good. They understood that their actions would determine the fate of the galaxy. The strike force, a mix of human and alien warriors, embarked on their mission. They entered the megastructure, their ships disappearing into the cold, dark depths of the ancient structure. Their mission was simple: stop the creature. The battle within the megastructure was brutal, a maelstrom of energy and death. The strike force fought with all their might. They battled hordes of alien creatures and faced the destructive power of the cosmic entity. The human leader of the strike force, a seasoned warrior named Colonel Irina Volkov, made the final, desperate move. She sacrificed herself to activate the weapon that would neutralize the entity. With her final breath, she sent a message back to the Concordance and humanity. We have faced the darkness. We have sacrificed our lives, but we have won. The galaxy is safe. We have shown that humanity will stand against anything for the future. The entity was destroyed. The megastructure, its dark secrets now silenced, was left dormant in the cold void. The Council and the humans mourned the loss of the fallen heroes, but they celebrated the victory. The galaxy was safe. Humanity had prevailed. They had shown the universe what could be accomplished when fear was replaced by courage, when suspicion was replaced by trust, and when the value of unity surpassed any personal interest. Eva Rostova, remembering the cost of this victory, stood on the bridge of a human starship looking out at the stars. She spoke to the assembled crew. We have seen the darkness. We have faced the horrors. We have learned many things. We have learned that the only way to overcome fear is through action. We have learned that true strength is not found in aggression or power, but in courage, wisdom, and compassion. And we have learned that the most powerful weapon in the universe is the human spirit. She paused, reflecting on the fallen, the cost of the victory, and the future that lay ahead. We are not perfect. We make mistakes. We are still learning, but we are always striving to be better. We will never again look to the shadows, but to the stars. The universe is vast, and there are many frontiers to explore, and though the path ahead may be long, we will face it with a renewed sense of purpose. She took a deep breath, looking out upon the assembled crew, the warriors who had faced the unimaginable and emerged victorious. We are human, and we are ready. We are ready to explore. We are ready to learn. We are ready to build a new future. She turned to her first officer, a veteran of countless battles, and spoke softly. Prepare for the next stage. We have a universe to explore. The ship, bathed in the ethereal glow of the stars, turned and accelerated toward a cluster of unexplored galaxies. The journey would be long, and the challenges ahead were unknown, but humanity, alongside its new allies, was ready. They were no longer the unpredictable, unknown newcomers. They were the ones who faced the darkness, the ones who chose to build a better future. They were humanity, and they were here to stay. Their story, the story of how they faced the unknown and chose cooperation over conflict, would be told for eons to come. Their legacy was secure, etched into the annals of the cosmos. Their tale was a testament to the enduring power of the human spirit.